Okay, so let's get into this. We're looking at a case today that, it feels like it was ripped straight from a horror script, but it was horrifyingly real. We're talking at the 2010 murder of Eliza Samudio, and it was immediately framed by this just unbelievably gruesome detail, testimony about seeing a severed hand being fed to a pack of dogs at the so-called House of Death.
And that detail, as shocking as it is, it really grabs your attention. But, for this deep dive, we want to look beyond that spectacle. We have to. At the center of this are two people. Eliza Silva Samudio, who was a young model, and the man responsible, Bruno Fernandes de Souza.
A huge name in Brazil at the time.
Oh, a massive name. He was a renowned goalkeeper, the former captain of Flamengo, a national sports idol.
So our mission here is to really pull back from that horror and dig into the systemic failures that allowed a celebrity to think he could get away with this.
And the motive, well, it seems pretty clear-cut. It's really about money and reputation. Samudio became pregnant with Bruno's child, and she refused his demand for an abortion.
Which was, and still largely is, illegal in Brazil anyway.
Exactly. So once their son, Bruninho, was born in February 2010, she immediately filed a paternity suit.
And that suit had serious teeth, right? It wasn't just about establishing who the father was.
Not at all. It mandated that his club pay 17.5% of his salary in child support. A staggering amount of money.
And this all happened right as he was on the verge of making this massive, career-defining move.
Precisely. He was on the cusp of a multi-million-dollar transfer to AC Milan. This lawsuit, the public scandal, it threatened to collapse his entire future.
This is where the story takes a turn that's just, it's infuriating. The system had a chance to step in here.
It absolutely did. She knew she was in danger. She went to the police, reported him for violence and death threats way back in October 2009.
And there was physical proof, too, wasn't there?
Oh, yes. Hard evidence. Forensic tests actually found abortive chemicals in her urine.
So you have a documented threat to her life.
Yeah.
And you have, essentially, a documented poisoning attempt.
And yet, a domestic violence judge denied her request for a protective order.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that they did not have, and this is a direct quote, a stable, effective relationship. It was a legal technicality.
Wow. So because they weren't, an officially recognized couple, the direct threat to her life was basically ignored.
That decision essentially signaled impunity. It was a green light.
And he took it.
He did. The crime that followed was meticulously planned. Bruno masterminded the whole thing. He coordinated it with his secretary, a guy named Macarão, and a hired killer named Bola.
Who was a former police officer, which just adds another chilling layer to all of this.
Right. So they lured Samudio from Rio to Belo Horizonte. She was held hostage, she was beaten, and ultimately strangled by Bola. And later testimony confirmed that Bruno was right there, present for the execution.
And then the cover-up, the attempt to just completely erase her.
Total erasure was the goal. Her body was dismembered. Part of it was fed to Bruno's dogs, which is where that initial horrific testimony comes from.
And the rest of her body has never been found.
Never. The theory is that it was buried under concrete.
He was convicted, though. He was sentenced to 22 years.
He was. 22 years and 3 months. But what happened next really shows you how fragile justice can be when a celebrity is involved.
You're talking about his release.
His temporary release in 2017 while he was appealing. And then, almost unbelievably, a football club, Boa Esport, actually decided to sign him to a contract.
They gave him a professional contract while he was appealing a murder conviction.
Yes, and the public outrage was it was massive. It was immediate.
So the public essentially had to step in and enforce a kind of justice where the system was failing again.
That's the tragic truth of it. The pressure was so intense, the club reversed its decision, and he was sent back to prison. It just shows this cultural tendency to prioritize athletic talent over criminal accountability. When you look at the whole picture, it's a really stark example of how the legal system's failure to act decisively based on a technicality directly enabled this horrific crime.
And it leaves us, and you, with a final thought to consider. The legacy of Eliza Samudio is inseparable from the fact that her body was never recovered. So what does that permanent, calculated physical absence of the victim truly symbolize about the success of the perpetrator's attempt at total symbolic erasure?